The importance of storytelling in nonfiction. Nonfiction writing is a powerful tool for sharing information and ideas, but it's also an art form that requires skill and finesse. To write an effective nonfiction book, you must be able to craft a compelling narrative that engages your readers and keeps them invested in your story. This is where storytelling comes in. Storytelling is a fundamental aspect of nonfiction writing that can help you create an emotional connection with your readers, convey complex information in a digestible way, and make your book more memorable. At its core, storytelling is about taking a collection of facts and turning them into a compelling and emotionally engaging story. By doing this, you're able to make your writing more relatable and accessible, even if your subject matter is complex or technical. This is why storytelling is so important in nonfiction writing, whether you're writing about history, science, politics, or any other topic. When you tell a story, you bring your reader along on a journey, engaging them with the narrative and making it easier for them to understand and remember the information you're sharing. You can create characters, use dialogue, incorporate sensory detail, and use other elements of fiction writing to make your book more engaging. By doing this, you're able to keep your readers' attention and keep them invested in your story. In addition to making your book more accessible and engaging, storytelling is also a great way to help your reader connect with the subject matter on an emotional level. By telling a story, you're able to bring your reader into the experience and help them understand and appreciate the information you're sharing in a new and meaningful way. Whether you're writing about the history of a place, the impact of a new technology, or the life of an important person, storytelling is a powerful tool that can help you make a real connection with your reader. Another important aspect of storytelling in nonfiction writing is the way it helps to structure your book. When you're telling a story, you're able to use the narrative arc to create a clear and coherent structure for your book. This structure helps to guide your reader through the book, keeping them engaged and invested in your story from beginning to end. Finally, storytelling is also an effective way to build your credibility as a writer. When you tell a story, you're demonstrating your knowledge and expertise in your subject matter, and you're able to connect with your reader in a way that's both engaging and authoritative. By using storytelling to communicate your ideas, you're able to establish yourself as a trusted source of information, and you're able to build your reputation as an expert in your field. In conclusion, storytelling is a vital component of nonfiction writing, and it's a tool that every nonfiction writer should have in their arsenal. By incorporating storytelling into your writing, you're able to create a more engaging and memorable book, connect with your reader on an emotional level, and build your credibility as a writer. Whether you're writing a memoir, a history book, or a work of investigative journalism, storytelling is an essential skill that will help you craft a compelling and effective nonfiction book. Defining your book's purpose and target audience. Before you start writing your nonfiction book, it's essential to have a clear understanding of your book's purpose and target audience. This information will guide your writing and help you make important decisions about content, style, and tone. It's the foundation upon which your book is built, and it's the key to creating a book that will resonate with your reader. The purpose of your book is the reason why you are writing it. It's the central idea or message that you want to convey to your reader. It might be to educate, entertain, inspire, or persuade. It could also be a combination of these goals. Understanding your purpose will help you to focus your writing and ensure that your book stays on track throughout the writing process. Once you have defined your book's purpose, it's time to turn your attention to your target audience. Your target audience is the group of people who you are writing your book for. This might be a specific demographic, such as young adults, or a more general audience, such as people interested in science or history. Understanding your target audience is important because it helps you to tailor your writing to meet the needs and interests of your reader. When defining your target audience, consider factors such as age, gender, education level, occupation, and interests. You might also want to think about your readers' expectations and what they are looking for in a book like yours. This information will help you to make decisions about the content, tone, and style of your book, and ensure that you are writing a book that will resonate with your reader. It's important to keep your target audience in mind throughout the writing process. This will help you to ensure that your writing is accessible, relevant, and engaging to your reader. You might also want to consider the feedback of your target audience during the editing and revision process, as this can help you to refine your book and make it even more appealing to your reader. In addition to defining your purpose and target audience, it's also important to consider the competition in your market. Research other non-fiction books in your genre or on similar topics and consider what sets your book apart. This can help you to identify your unique selling points and focus your writing on the elements that will make your book stand out. In conclusion, defining your book's purpose and target audience is a critical step in the non-fiction writing process. By taking the time to understand your book's purpose and target audience, you will be able to create a book that resonates with your reader and meets their needs and expectations. Remember to keep your target audience in mind throughout the writing process, and be open to feedback and refinement during the editing and revision process. With a clear understanding of your purpose and target audience, you will be well on your way to writing a successful and impactful non-fiction book. Structuring your non-fiction book. One of the most important aspects of writing a non-fiction book is structuring it in a way that is clear, engaging, and easy to follow. A well-structured book will help you to communicate your message effectively, keep your readers' attention, and ensure that your book is accessible to a wide range of readers. There are several different ways to structure a non-fiction book, and the best structure for your book will depend on your book's purpose, target audience, and content. Some common structures include chronological, thematic, cause and effect, and comparative structures. A chronological structure is often used for biographies or historical accounts, and it follows the events of a person's life or the progression of a particular event. A thematic structure is used when the book is focused on a specific topic or theme, and it often includes chapters that explore different aspects of the theme in depth. A cause and effect structure is used when the author wants to examine the reasons behind a particular event or phenomenon, and it typically includes an examination of the causes, followed by the effects. A comparative structure is used when the author wants to compare and contrast two or more similar subjects. Regardless of the structure you choose, it's important to ensure that your book has a clear and logical flow. Your book should have an introduction that sets the stage for your book, and a conclusion that summarizes your key points and provides closure for your reader. It's also a good idea to include subheadings within each chapter, as this can help to break up the content and make it easier for your reader to follow. In addition to structuring your book, it's also important to consider the tone and style of your writing. Your tone should be consistent throughout your book, and it should be appropriate for your target audience and your book's purpose. For example, if you are writing a book about a serious topic, your tone should be serious and informative, whereas if you are writing a light-hearted book, your tone should be more light-hearted and playful. Your writing style should also be consistent throughout your book. You might choose to write in a conversational style, or you might prefer a more formal style. Your writing style should reflect your personality, and it should also be appropriate for your target audience and your book's purpose. In conclusion, structuring your non-fiction book is a critical step in the writing process. By taking the time to consider the structure, tone, and style of your writing, you will be able to create a book that is clear, engaging, and easy to follow. Remember to choose a structure that is appropriate for your book's purpose and target audience, and to ensure that your book has a clear and logical flow. With a well-structured book, you will be well on your way to creating a successful and impactful non-fiction book. Conducting effective research. Conducting effective research is a key component of writing a successful non-fiction book. Your research will provide you with the information you need to support your arguments and ideas, and it will also help you to gain a deeper understanding of your subject matter. There are several different types of research that you can conduct when writing a non-fiction book, including primary research, secondary research, and online research. Primary research involves conducting your own research by gathering data or information directly from your subjects. This might include conducting surveys, conducting interviews, or conducting field research. Primary research can be time-consuming, but it can also provide you with highly specific and valuable information that is tailored to your specific needs. Secondary research involves gathering information from existing sources, such as books, articles, and websites. Secondary research can be an efficient way to gather information, and it can be particularly useful when you are exploring a well-established area of research. However, it's important to be cautious when using secondary research, as the information may not be up-to-date or relevant to your specific needs. Online research involves conducting research using the Internet. This might include using search engines, social media, and other online resources. Online research is a quick and convenient way to gather information, but it can also be overwhelming, as there is a vast amount of information available online. To ensure that you are conducting effective online research, it's important to use reliable sources and to verify the information you find. Regardless of the type of research you choose to conduct, it's important to be organized and methodical in your approach. You should keep track of your research as you go, and make sure that you have a system in place for organizing and storing your research materials. This will make it easier for you to refer back to your research when you are writing your book, and it will also help you to avoid duplicating your research efforts. In addition to conducting research, it's also important to consider your sources when writing a non-fiction book. You should always use credible and trustworthy sources, and you should also consider the reliability and credibility of the information you find. If you are unsure about the reliability of a source, it's always a good idea to do additional research or to consult with an expert in the field. Finally, it's important to be mindful of copyright laws when conducting research. You should always obtain permission to use any information or materials that you gather during your research, and you should also be mindful of any restrictions or limitations on the use of the information you find. In conclusion, conducting effective research is a critical step in the writing process for a non-fiction book. By conducting thorough and organized research, you will be able to gather the information you need to support your ideas and arguments, and you will also gain a deeper understanding of your subject matter. With effective research, you will be well on your way to writing a successful and impactful non-fiction book. Finding the right voice for your non-fiction book. The voice you use when writing a non-fiction book is just as important as the content you include in your book. Your voice will help to set the tone and establish the mood of your book, and it will also help to engage your reader and keep their attention. There are several factors to consider when finding the right voice for your non-fiction book, including your target audience, your subject matter, and your personal style. When considering your target audience, it's important to think about the type of people who will be reading your book. Will your book be read by professionals in a specific field, or will it be read by a general audience? Will your reader be looking for technical information, or will they be looking for more general information about a subject? Once you have a clear understanding of your target audience, you can tailor your voice to best suit their needs and preferences. The subject matter of your book will also play a role in determining the right voice for your book. For example, a book about a serious subject such as politics or social issues may require a more formal and straightforward tone, while a book about a more light-hearted subject such as travel or food may be better suited to a more conversational and playful tone. Your personal style is another important factor to consider when finding the right voice for your book. Your voice should reflect your unique personality and writing style, and it should also align with your goals for your book. If you are writing a book to inform and educate, then a more straightforward and objective tone may be more appropriate, While if you are writing a book to entertain and engage, then a more conversational and personal tone may be more effective. Once you have a clear understanding of your target audience, subject matter, and personal style, you can start to experiment with different voices and tones. This might include writing sample chapters in different styles, or trying out different approaches to your writing. You should also consider getting feedback from others, such as beta readers or writing groups, to help you refine your voice and find the right tone for your book. In conclusion, finding the right voice for your non-fiction book is an important step in the writing process. By considering your target audience, subject matter, and personal style, you can find the right voice for your book and ensure that your writing is engaging and effective. With the right voice, you will be able to captivate your reader and bring your book to life. The art of storyboarding. Storyboarding is a visual representation of your non-fiction book that can help you to organize your ideas, plan your content, and refine your writing. It is a powerful tool that can help you to clarify your message, keep your book focused, and ensure that your writing is engaging and effective. The first step in creating a storyboard is to gather all of your ideas and research. This might include notes, outlines, quotes, and images that are relevant to your book. Once you have all of your materials, you can start to organize your ideas into a visual representation. There are several ways to create a storyboard, including using a mind map, creating a flowchart, or drawing a simple outline. The most important thing is to choose a method that works best for you and your writing style. When creating your storyboard, think about the main themes and concepts that you want to cover in your book. These themes should be the central building blocks of your storyboard, and they should help to guide your writing and keep your book focused. Next, think about the structure of your book. How will you begin your book, and how will you end it? How will you divide your book into chapters or sections? The structure of your storyboard should reflect the structure of your book, and it should help you to plan your content and keep your writing organized. As you work on your storyboard, keep your target audience in mind. Your storyboard should be designed to meet the needs and interests of your reader, and it should be structured in a way that makes your book easy to follow and engaging to read. Once your storyboard is complete, you can use it as a reference as you write your book. You can refer to your storyboard to ensure that your writing is on track, and that you are covering all of the important themes and concepts that you want to include in your book. In conclusion, storyboarding is an important tool for non-fiction writers that can help to clarify your message, keep your book focused, and ensure that your writing is engaging and effective. Whether you choose to use a mind map, flowchart, or simple outline, the most important thing is to choose a method that works best for you and your writing style. With a well-crafted storyboard, you will be well on your way to writing a successful non-fiction book. Creating compelling characters in non-fiction. In non-fiction writing, characters are not necessarily fictional beings, but rather real people or entities that play a role in the story you're telling. Whether you're writing about historical figures, contemporary individuals, or organizations, it's important to create characters that are engaging, relatable, and memorable to your readers. One key element of creating compelling characters in non-fiction is to give them dimension. This means that you should reveal the characters' motivations, values, and beliefs in a way that allows the reader to understand them and connect with them on an emotional level. Consider including details about a character's background, personality, and experiences that help to paint a picture of who they are and why they do what they do. Another important aspect of character development in non-fiction is to show, rather than tell. Instead of simply telling the reader that a character is brave, for example, show examples of their bravery through their actions and decisions. This allows the reader to form their own opinions about the character and makes them more invested in the story. It's also crucial to pay attention to character arcs in non-fiction writing. This means that you should show how the characters evolve over time, and how their experiences and actions shape who they become. A character who starts out as one thing, and ends up as another by the end of the book, can be particularly engaging and memorable for the reader. In some cases, non-fiction writers also choose to include themselves as characters in their book. This can be a powerful way to add personal perspective and humanize the story, but it's important to do so in a way that doesn't detract from the main message or make the book too self-indulgent. If you choose to include yourself as a character, focus on how your experiences and perspectives contribute to the overall story and the message you're trying to convey. It's also important to remember that in non-fiction, characters are based on real people. This means that you should be respectful and ethical in your portrayal of them, and avoid portraying them in a negative or sensationalized way, without good reason. Additionally, it's a good idea to seek out the perspectives of the people you're writing about, and to be open to feedback from them, to ensure that your portrayal is accurate and fair. In conclusion, creating compelling characters in non-fiction writing requires a combination of dimensional development, showing rather than telling, attention to character arcs, and ethical considerations. By following these principles, you can create characters that are relatable, memorable, and contribute to the overall success of your non-fiction book. Using dialogue to bring your narrative to life. Dialogue is a powerful tool for non-fiction writers, allowing you to bring your story to life, reveal character, and advance the narrative. However, using dialogue effectively in non-fiction writing requires a different approach than in fiction writing, as the dialogue must be based on real-life conversations or interviews. One key element of using dialogue in non-fiction is to choose the right moments to include it. Consider when a conversation or interaction between characters would best serve to advance the story, reveal character, or illustrate a point. Make sure to include enough context so that the reader can understand who is speaking and what they're discussing. Another important aspect of using dialogue in non-fiction is to make it authentic. This means that you should aim to capture the rhythms and patterns of real-life speech, rather than writing in a more formal or stylized way. Consider using contractions, colloquial language, and other elements of natural speech to give the dialogue a more authentic feel. It's also crucial to use dialogue to reveal character and advance the narrative. Use what the characters say to reveal their motivations, values, and beliefs, and to provide insights into their personalities. Pay attention to the subtext of conversations and consider what the characters are really saying, rather than just what they're saying on the surface. In some cases, non-fiction writers choose to use dialogue in a more stylized way, in order to convey a specific tone or atmosphere. This can be effective in certain situations, but it's important to be consistent in your approach, and to avoid overusing stylized dialogue in a way that detracts from the overall credibility of the story. Another aspect to consider is the use of direct and indirect dialogue. Direct dialogue involves quoting someone's exact words, while indirect dialogue summarizes what was said. In non-fiction writing, direct dialogue can be powerful, but it's important to make sure that it is accurate and that the quotation adds value to the story. Indirect dialogue, on the other hand, can be useful for conveying information more efficiently, but it's important to make sure that the summary accurately reflects what was said. It's also important to be mindful of ethical considerations when using dialogue in non-fiction. This means that you should seek out the perspectives of the people you're quoting, and avoid using their words in a way that is misleading, sensationalized, or unethical. Additionally, it's a good idea to seek permission to use someone's words in your book, and to consider protecting their privacy if necessary. In conclusion, using dialogue in non-fiction writing can bring your story to life, reveal character, and advance the narrative. To use dialogue effectively, consider the right moments to include it, strive for authenticity, use it to reveal character and advance the narrative, be mindful of ethical considerations, and make use of direct and indirect dialogue as appropriate. By following these principles, you can effectively use dialogue to enhance your non-fiction book and engage your readers. Effective use of description and sensory detail. One of the key elements of non-fiction writing is the use of description and sensory detail to bring the story to life and engage the reader. Description and sensory detail can help to set the scene, convey a sense of place, and create a more immersive reading experience. When writing description, it's important to focus on the details that are most significant to the story. Consider what the reader needs to know in order to understand the scene, and what details will help to create a vivid and memorable experience. Sensory detail is particularly important in non-fiction writing, as it helps to engage the reader on a more emotional level. Consider using descriptions of sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and textures to create a rich, multi-sensory experience for the reader. One effective technique for incorporating sensory detail is to use imagery and figurative language. This can include metaphors, similes, and other comparisons that help to create a vivid picture in the reader's mind. For example, you might describe a character's expression as cold as ice, or the sound of a car engine as a growl. Another important aspect of using description and sensory detail is to create a sense of atmosphere. Consider the mood you want to convey, and use description to create a feeling of tension, calm, or excitement, for example. In addition to using description and sensory detail to create a vivid reading experience, it's also important to use these elements to reveal character and advance the story. Consider how the details you choose to include can reveal character traits, motivations, or beliefs, and how they can help to advance the narrative. When writing description and sensory detail, it's important to avoid overloading the reader with too much information. Avoid including irrelevant details or lengthy descriptions that don't add anything to the story. Instead, focus on the key details that will help to create a memorable and engaging reading experience. Finally, it's important to be mindful of pacing when using description and sensory detail. Consider the right moments to include more detailed descriptions and avoid including too much detail all at once. A good rule of thumb is to balance moments of intense description with moments of action or dialogue, in order to keep the reader engaged and prevent the pace from slowing down. In conclusion, description and sensory detail are important elements of non-fiction writing, helping to bring the story to life, engage the reader, and advance the narrative. To use description and sensory detail effectively, focus on the key details, use imagery and figurative language, create a sense of atmosphere, reveal character, and be mindful of pacing. By following these principles, you can effectively use description and sensory detail to enhance your non-fiction book and engage your readers. Building tension and conflict in non-fiction. Tension and conflict are essential components of any good story, and non-fiction writing is no exception. Whether your non-fiction book is a memoir, a historical account, or a work of investigative journalism, tension and conflict help to engage the reader, advance the story, and create a memorable reading experience. Tension refers to the feeling of unease or uncertainty that a reader experiences as they anticipate the outcome of events. Conflict, on the other hand, refers to the struggle between opposing forces in a story. Tension and conflict can take many forms in non-fiction writing, including internal conflict, external conflict, and conflict between individuals or groups. One effective way to build tension and conflict in non-fiction is to focus on the stakes of the story. Consider what the protagonist or central character stands to gain or lose, and use this to create a sense of urgency and danger. For example, a memoir about a person's struggle with addiction might focus on the protagonist's desire to overcome their addiction, and the consequences they face if they fail. Another important aspect of building tension and conflict in non-fiction is to create a sense of uncertainty. Consider how you can create a sense of mystery or unpredictability in the story, to keep the reader guessing and engaged. This can include using foreshadowing, withholding information, and creating unexpected twists and turns in the story. In addition to building tension and conflict through the central story, consider using subplots to create additional layers of tension and conflict. Subplots can help to deepen the reader's connection to the story, and create additional sources of tension and conflict to keep the reader engaged. Another effective technique for building tension and conflict in nonfiction is to use dialogue. Dialogue can help to reveal character, advance the story, and create a sense of tension and conflict between characters. Consider how you can use dialogue to reveal conflicting perspectives, create tension, and advance the story. When building tension and conflict in nonfiction, it's important to balance the level of tension and conflict in the story. Too much tension and conflict can become overwhelming and fatigue the reader, while too little can make the story seem flat and unengaging. Consider using moments of calm or resolution to contrast with moments of tension and conflict, to create a more dynamic and engaging reading experience. Finally, it's important to be mindful of tone when building tension and conflict in nonfiction. Consider how you want the reader to feel as they read your book, and use tension and conflict to create a sense of empathy, excitement, or suspense. By being mindful of tone, you can create a memorable and engaging reading experience for your readers. In conclusion, tension and conflict are essential components of nonfiction writing, helping to engage the reader, advance the story, and create a memorable reading experience. To build tension and conflict effectively in your nonfiction book, focus on the stakes, create uncertainty, use subplots and dialogue, balance the level of tension and conflict, and be mindful of tone. By following these principles, you can build tension and conflict effectively in your nonfiction book, and create a compelling and engaging reading experience for your readers. Weaving fact and narrative together in nonfiction writing. In nonfiction writing, the challenge is to present accurate information in a compelling and engaging manner. The key to success is to find the right balance between fact and narrative, weaving the two together in a way that informs and captivates the reader. One effective way to weave fact and narrative together is to use storytelling techniques, such as scene setting, character development, and dialogue, to bring the facts to life. By using these techniques, you can create a vivid and memorable reading experience for the reader, making the information more engaging and easier to understand. Another effective way to weave fact and narrative together is to use anecdotes and personal stories to illustrate key points. Personal stories can be a powerful way to connect with the reader, and to bring the information to life in a way that is engaging and memorable. When using anecdotes, be sure to choose stories that are relevant to the topic at hand, and that illustrate the key points in a clear and concise manner. In addition to using anecdotes, consider using examples and case studies to illustrate key points. Examples and case studies can help to make the information more concrete and relevant, making it easier for the reader to understand and remember. When using examples and case studies, be sure to choose examples that are representative of the topic, and that illustrate the key points in a clear and engaging manner. Another effective way to weave fact and narrative together is to use quotes and direct testimony from sources. Quotes and testimony can help to add credibility to your writing, and to bring the information to life in a way that is engaging and memorable. When using quotes and testimony, be sure to choose sources that are reputable and knowledgeable, and that add value to your writing. In addition to weaving fact and narrative together in the body of your writing, consider using subheadings and visual aids to break up the text and make the information more accessible. Subheadings can help to organize the information and make it easier for the reader to find what they are looking for, while visual aids, such as charts, graphs, and images, can help to illustrate key points and make the information more engaging. Finally, when weaving fact and narrative together, it's important to be mindful of tone. Consider how you want the reader to feel as they read your book, and use tone to create a sense of empathy, excitement, or curiosity. By being mindful of tone, you can create a memorable and engaging reading experience for your readers. In conclusion, weaving fact and narrative together is a key challenge in nonfiction writing. To succeed, use storytelling techniques, anecdotes, examples, and testimony, use subheadings and visual aids, and be mindful of tone. By following these principles, you can create a compelling and engaging reading experience for your readers, while presenting accurate information in a way that is both informative and memorable. The power of metaphor and analogies in non-fiction writing. Metaphor and analogy are powerful tools that can help to bring abstract concepts to life, making them easier to understand and remember. In non-fiction writing, metaphors and analogies can be used to make complex ideas more accessible, to create connections between seemingly disparate concepts, and to add depth and meaning to your writing. One of the main benefits of using metaphor and analogy is that they can help to engage the reader's imagination and create a memorable reading experience. For example, by comparing an abstract concept to a more tangible object or experience, you can help the reader to see the concept in a new light and to understand it more deeply. Another benefit of using metaphor and analogy is that they can help to explain complex concepts in a simple and accessible way. For example, by comparing a complex scientific theory to a machine, you can help the reader to understand how the theory works and to see the connections between its various components. When using metaphor and analogy, it's important to choose examples that are relevant, accurate, and memorable. For example, if you are writing about a complex economic concept, you might use an analogy to a game of chess to help the reader understand the interplay between different factors. However, if the analogy is not relevant or accurate, it can confuse the reader or distract from the information you are trying to convey. It's also important to use metaphors and analogies sparingly and thoughtfully. Overuse of these techniques can be overwhelming and can detract from the power of the writing. Instead, choose a few key metaphors or analogies that are most relevant to your topic, and use them effectively to illustrate key points. In addition to using metaphor and analogy, consider using other literary techniques, such as imagery, sensory detail, and personification, to bring your writing to life. For example, by describing a complex scientific concept in vivid detail, you can help the reader to see the concept in a new way and to understand it more deeply. Finally, it's important to be mindful of the tone of your writing when using metaphor and analogy. Choose analogies and metaphors that are in line with the tone and style of your writing, and use them to reinforce the main themes and ideas in your book. In conclusion, the power of metaphor and analogy in non-fiction writing lies in their ability to bring abstract concepts to life, to create memorable reading experiences, and to explain complex ideas in a simple and accessible way. When using these techniques, choose examples that are relevant, accurate, and memorable, use them sparingly, and be mindful of tone. By following these principles, you can add depth and meaning to your writing, and engage your readers in new and exciting ways. Engaging your readers with personal anecdotes in non-fiction writing. Personal anecdotes can be a powerful tool in non-fiction writing, allowing you to connect with your readers on a deeper level and make your writing more engaging. By sharing your own experiences and insights, you can add a personal touch to your writing, helping to bring your ideas to life and make them more relatable to your readers. When used effectively, personal anecdotes can help to illustrate a point, create a sense of empathy with your reader, or simply make your writing more memorable. For example, if you are writing about a particular subject, you might share a story about a time when you experienced the issue firsthand. This can help to humanize the topic and make it more relatable to your readers. Another benefit of using personal anecdotes is that they can help to add credibility to your writing. By sharing your own experiences and insights, you are demonstrating that you have a personal connection to the topic, and that you understand the issue from a first-hand perspective. When writing personal anecdotes, it's important to consider your audience and what they will find most engaging. For example, if you are writing for a technical audience, your anecdotes should be relevant and directly related to the subject matter. However, if you are writing for a more general audience, you might include anecdotes that are more personal and introspective, allowing you to connect with your readers on a deeper level. It's also important to be mindful of the tone of your writing when using personal anecdotes. Choose anecdotes that reinforce the tone and style of your writing, and use them to create a consistent and engaging narrative throughout your book. In addition to using personal anecdotes, consider using other storytelling techniques, such as dialogue, imagery, and sensory detail, to bring your writing to life. By using these techniques in combination with personal anecdotes, you can create a powerful and engaging narrative that will captivate your readers. Finally, be mindful of the length and structure of your anecdotes. Avoid writing long, rambling stories that distract from your main message. Instead, choose anecdotes that are concise and to the point, and that illustrate your key points effectively. In conclusion, personal anecdotes can be a powerful tool in non-fiction writing, allowing you to connect with your readers and make your writing more engaging. When using personal anecdotes, choose anecdotes that are relevant, directly related to the subject matter, and in line with the tone and style of your writing. By following these principles, you can create a powerful and engaging narrative that will captivate your readers and help them to understand and remember your ideas. Incorporating quotes and expert testimonies in nonfiction writing. Quoting experts and incorporating testimonials can add credibility and depth to your nonfiction writing. By including the thoughts and opinions of others, you can add a new perspective to your writing and reinforce the validity of your ideas. When selecting quotes, choose experts and testimonials that are relevant to your topic and add value to your writing. For example, if you are writing about a particular issue, you might quote an expert in that field, or include a testimonial from someone who has experienced the issue firsthand. This can help to support your arguments and add credibility to your writing. It's also important to consider the tone and style of your quotes and testimonials. Choose quotes that reinforce the tone and style of your writing and that align with your message. Avoid quotes that are long, complex, or confusing, and instead focus on quotes that are concise and easy to understand. When incorporating quotes and testimonials, consider using them to introduce new ideas, to provide additional context, or to reinforce your arguments. For example, you might use a quote to open a chapter to introduce a new idea, or to provide additional context for a particular point. Incorporating quotes from experts can also help to add a new dimension to your writing and make your ideas more compelling. For example, by including quotes from experts who have different perspectives on a particular issue, you can provide a more nuanced view of the topic and engage your readers in a more meaningful way. Another way to incorporate quotes and testimonials is to use them to build tension and conflict in your writing. By including conflicting opinions, you can create a sense of tension and add depth to your writing, helping to engage your readers and keep them interested. When using quotes and testimonials, it's important to be mindful of the source of the information. Always include the name of the expert or testimonial source, along with any relevant information, such as their title or organization. This will help to add credibility to your writing and ensure that your readers know the source of the information. In conclusion, incorporating quotes and expert testimonials can add credibility and depth to your nonfiction writing. When selecting quotes and testimonials, choose those that are relevant, add value, and align with your message. By following these principles, you can create a powerful and engaging narrative that will captivate your readers and help them to understand and remember your ideas. The role of humor in nonfiction writing. Humor can be a powerful tool in nonfiction writing, helping to engage readers, build rapport, and convey information in a memorable and entertaining way. However, it can also be a challenge to incorporate humor in a way that is appropriate for the subject matter and audience. When considering the use of humor in nonfiction writing, it is important to consider the tone and style of your writing, as well as the subject matter and target audience. Humor that is appropriate for one audience may not be appropriate for another, So it is important to consider your audience carefully when incorporating humor into your writing. Incorporating humor can be a great way to build rapport with your audience and make your writing more relatable and approachable. Humor can also help to break up long blocks of text, making your writing easier to read and understand. However, it is important to use humor carefully and to make sure that it is relevant to your subject matter. Humor can be used to diffuse tense situations or to add a light-hearted touch to your writing. However, it should not be used to trivialize serious topics or to undermine the credibility of your writing. Incorporating humor can also help to make complex topics more accessible by breaking down difficult concepts into more manageable pieces. By using humor to simplify complex ideas, you can help your readers to understand and remember the information more easily. When incorporating humor into your non-fiction writing, it is important to consider the form that your humor will take. Humor can be incorporated in a number of ways, including jokes, puns, analogies, and sarcastic comments. Each form of humor has its own strengths and weaknesses, and it is important to choose the form that best suits your subject matter and audience. It is also important to be mindful of the balance between humor and serious content in your writing. While humor can be a powerful tool, it should never detract from the main message of your writing. In conclusion, the role of humor in non-fiction writing can be a powerful tool for engaging readers, conveying information, and making complex topics more accessible. However, it is important to use humor carefully, considering the tone and style of your writing, the subject matter, and the target audience. By following these principles, you can use humor to enhance your non-fiction writing and make your ideas more memorable and engaging. Making your writing visual, using imagery and description. The power of imagery and description in non-fiction writing cannot be overstated. These elements can help to bring your writing to life, engaging your readers and making them feel as though they are experiencing the story along with you. Imagery and description are key to creating a vivid, sensory experience for your readers. They allow you to paint a picture with words, making your writing come alive in the minds of your readers. By using imagery and description, you can help your readers to experience the sights, sounds, and emotions that are at the heart of your story. When using imagery and description in your writing, it is important to focus on the senses. Try to engage as many of your readers' senses as possible, giving them a full and immersive experience. Use descriptions of sights, sounds, tastes, smells, and touches to bring your story to life. Imagery and description can also be used to help you build tension and conflict in your writing. By describing the setting and atmosphere in detail, you can help to create a sense of unease or threat, building anticipation and engaging your readers. Incorporating vivid imagery and description into your writing can also help to make complex concepts more accessible. By painting a picture with words, you can help your readers to understand and remember complex ideas more easily. When using imagery and description in your writing, it is important to choose your words carefully. Be descriptive and imaginative, using sensory language to help your readers experience the story along with you. Avoid cliched or overused images and descriptions, and instead aim for original and imaginative language that will help your writing stand out. It is also important to keep your writing concise and focused. Use imagery and description to support your main message, rather than detracting from it. Too much description can quickly become overwhelming, so it is important to use imagery and description judiciously. In conclusion, the use of imagery and description in non-fiction writing is a powerful tool for bringing your writing to life, engaging your readers, and making complex concepts more accessible. By focusing on the senses, building tension and conflict, and choosing your words carefully, you can use imagery and description to enhance your writing and create a memorable experience for your readers. Transitioning between scenes and chapters. Making smooth transitions between scenes and chapters is an important aspect of non-fiction writing. Transitions help to guide your readers through your narrative, providing a clear structure and making it easy for them to follow your story. When transitioning between scenes, it is important to provide a clear break in the narrative. This can be done by starting a new paragraph, using scene breaks, or making other clear visual cues that signal to the reader that they are moving from one scene to another. In addition to providing clear breaks, transitions can also be used to help build momentum and suspense in your writing. By ending a scene or chapter on a cliffhanger or a dramatic moment, you can keep your readers engaged and motivated to keep reading. When transitioning between chapters, it is important to provide a clear link between the previous chapter and the new one. This can be done by summarizing the key points from the previous chapter, or by using other narrative techniques that help to build a sense of continuity and flow. It is also important to keep in mind the overall structure of your book when transitioning between chapters. Consider the pacing of your story, and make sure that your transitions help to build momentum and maintain a consistent flow. Incorporating transitional elements such as foreshadowing can also be a useful tool for making smooth transitions between scenes and chapters. By using hints and teasers to suggest what is to come, you can help to build excitement and anticipation, and keep your readers engaged and motivated to keep reading. It is also important to be mindful of the tone and mood of your writing when transitioning between scenes and chapters. Make sure that your transitions are consistent with the overall tone and mood of your writing, and avoid abrupt shifts that can disrupt the flow of your story. In conclusion, making smooth transitions between scenes and chapters is an important aspect of nonfiction writing. By providing clear breaks, building momentum and suspense, and incorporating transitional elements, you can help to guide your readers through your narrative and create a memorable reading experience. Finding the right balance of facts and emotion. In non-fiction writing, it is important to find the right balance between facts and emotions. While facts provide the foundation of your story and give it credibility, emotions are what connect with your readers and make your story memorable and impactful. One key consideration in finding the right balance is your book's purpose and target audience. If you are writing a scientific or technical book, for example, you may need to emphasize facts over emotions. However, if you are writing a personal memoir or a book on a social issue, emotions may play a more prominent role. When incorporating emotions into your writing, it is important to be genuine and authentic. Use anecdotes and personal experiences to illustrate your points and make them relatable to your readers. Avoid using melodramatic language or artificially inflating the emotional content of your writing, as this can detract from the credibility of your story. At the same time, it is important not to oversimplify complex issues or reduce them to solely emotional terms. Your writing should be well researched and accurate, and provide a comprehensive understanding of the topic you are covering. One way to find the right balance between facts and emotions is to use storytelling techniques. For example, you can use a case study or a personal anecdote to illustrate a point, and then back it up with supporting facts and statistics. By weaving facts and emotions together in this way, you can create a compelling narrative that is both informative and engaging. Another way to find the right balance is to use different writing styles in different parts of your book. For example, you may use a more formal, straightforward style when presenting complex information or data, and then switch to a more personal, emotional style when telling a story or discussing a social issue. It is also important to be mindful of the tone and mood of your writing. While you want to engage your readers emotionally, it is important to maintain a consistent tone and mood throughout your book. Avoid abrupt shifts in tone or mood, as these can be jarring to your readers and disrupt the flow of your story. Finally, when finding the right balance between facts and emotions, it is important to be mindful of the larger context of your book. Your book should tell a coherent, comprehensive story, and all elements, including facts and emotions, should contribute to the overall narrative. In conclusion, finding the right balance between facts and emotions is an important aspect of non-fiction writing. By considering your book's purpose and target audience, using storytelling techniques, and being mindful of the tone and mood of your writing, you can create a compelling and impactful nonfiction book. Building a compelling argument in nonfiction. Nonfiction writing often requires the author to make an argument, present a point of view, or persuade the reader to adopt a particular perspective. This can be challenging, especially if the author is presenting complex information or controversial ideas. However, when done well, a compelling argument can make for an engaging and thought-provoking read. To build a compelling argument in nonfiction, start by defining your main argument. What is it that you want to say to your reader? This should be a clear, concise statement that can be easily understood by your target audience. Next, consider the evidence that supports your argument. This can include statistics, expert opinions, and personal anecdotes. Be sure to choose evidence that is relevant and credible, and present it in a way that is easy for the reader to understand. You should also consider counterarguments and address any potential objections to your argument. This will show that you have considered multiple perspectives and strengthen the credibility of your argument. Once you have defined your argument and gathered supporting evidence, it's time to structure your writing. Consider using an introduction body conclusion format. The introduction should provide context and introduce your argument. The body of the writing should present your evidence and build your argument, and the conclusion should summarize your argument and explain why it matters. As you write, be sure to use clear and concise language that is easy to understand. Avoid using jargon or technical terms that may confuse your reader. Instead, focus on making your argument accessible and engaging to your target audience. It's also important to keep in mind the tone of your writing. The tone should be appropriate for the subject matter and for your target audience. For example, if you are writing about a serious topic, a light-hearted tone may not be appropriate. On the other hand, if you are writing about a lighter topic, a more serious tone may not be engaging for your reader. Finally, be sure to revise and edit your writing carefully. This is a critical step in the writing process and can make all the difference in the impact of your argument. Consider having someone else read your writing and provide feedback, as this can help you identify areas for improvement and strengthen your argument. In conclusion, building a compelling argument in non-fiction writing requires careful planning and attention to detail. By defining your argument, gathering supporting evidence, using clear language, and revising your writing, you can create a compelling and engaging piece of writing that will resonate with your reader. Using data and statistics to support your narrative. Using data and statistics in non-fiction writing can be a powerful tool for reinforcing your argument and making it more persuasive. However, it's important to use this tool effectively, as too much data and statistics can make your writing dry and uninteresting. To effectively use data and statistics in your non-fiction writing, follow these tips. Choose relevant data and statistics. Make sure the data and statistics you use are relevant to your argument and support your point of view. Avoid using data and statistics just for the sake of adding them to your writing. Make the data and statistics accessible. Use data and statistics in a way that is easy for your readers to understand. Avoid using technical jargon and instead opt for clear, concise explanations. Use visual aids. Visual aids such as graphs, charts, and infographics can make data and statistics more accessible and easier to understand. Use these tools to bring your data and statistics to life. Provide context. Make sure you provide context for the data and statistics you use. Explain what the data represents and why it's relevant to your argument. Use real-life examples. Use real-life examples to bring data and statistics to life and make them more relatable for your readers. This will also help to reinforce your argument. Be careful with extrapolation. When using data and statistics, be careful not to extrapolate beyond the data itself. Avoid making predictions or assumptions based on limited data. Keep it simple. When using data and statistics, keep it simple and avoid overwhelming your readers with too much information. Use data and statistics to support your argument, not to make it more complex. Incorporating data and statistics into your non-fiction writing can be a valuable tool for reinforcing your argument and making your writing more persuasive. Just be sure to use this tool effectively and keep it simple, accessible, and relevant to your argument. Adding drama to non-fiction writing. Drama is an essential component of great storytelling, even in non-fiction writing. It helps to capture the reader's attention and keep them engaged in the narrative. Here are some tips on how to add drama to your non-fiction writing. Highlight conflict. Conflict is the essence of drama, and it can come in many forms in non-fiction writing. From conflicts between characters to conflicts between ideas to conflicts between societies, there are many opportunities to add drama to your writing. Highlight these conflicts and build tension around them to create a sense of drama. Use suspense. Suspense is a powerful tool for creating drama in your non-fiction writing. Build anticipation and tension by creating uncertainty around key events or outcomes. Leave your reader on the edge of their seat, eager to see what will happen next. Create a strong sense of urgency. Urgency is a key component of drama. Make the events in your narrative feel important and immediate by using strong verbs and a sense of immediacy in your writing. Make the reader feel like they need to know what will happen next. Bring characters to life. Dramatic non-fiction writing often centers around strong dynamic characters. Use vivid descriptions, dialogue, and characterization to bring your characters to life and make them feel real to your reader. Use vivid imagery. Vivid imagery can help to create a sense of drama in your non-fiction writing. Use sensory details to bring your writing to life and create vivid mental images for your reader. Build tension. Tension is an essential component of drama in non-fiction writing. Build tension by creating conflicts and adding suspense. Use foreshadowing and a strong sense of urgency to keep the reader on the edge of their seat. Show, don't tell. Rather than simply telling the reader what is happening, show them. Use descriptive language and vivid imagery to help the reader experience the events of your narrative. Emotional appeal. Emotion is a powerful tool for adding drama to your non-fiction writing. Tap into the reader's emotions by describing the feelings and thoughts of your characters. This will help to make your writing more engaging and memorable. Incorporating these elements into your non-fiction writing will help you to create a compelling and dramatic narrative that will capture the reader's attention and keep them engaged in your story. Whether you are writing about a historical event, a scientific discovery, or a personal experience, adding drama to your non-fiction writing will make it more memorable and engaging for your readers. The importance of editing and revising. Editing and revising are essential steps in the process of writing a successful non-fiction book. They are opportunities to refine your work, improve the flow of your narrative, and ensure that your book is clear, concise, and engaging. In this chapter, we will explore the importance of editing and revising, and how they can help you achieve your writing goals. The first step in editing your non-fiction book is to review the overall structure of your work. This includes checking the flow of your narrative, ensuring that your chapters are well organized, and that your writing is concise and easy to understand. You should also review your writing style and tone, making sure that they are consistent throughout the book. Once you have reviewed the overall structure of your book, you can move on to the more specific elements of your writing, such as your grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Paying close attention to these details will ensure that your book is polished and professional. In addition to reviewing your writing, it is also important to consider your readers when editing your non-fiction book. Your goal should be to make your book as accessible and engaging as possible, so think about what your target audience will find most appealing, and make any necessary changes to your writing to reflect that. Revising is another key step in the editing process, and it is an opportunity to take a step back and look at your book with a critical eye. Revisions allow you to make any necessary changes to your writing, such as clarifying your arguments, adding additional detail, or restructuring your narrative. It is important to keep in mind that editing and revising are ongoing processes, and that you should be prepared to make multiple revisions to your book before it is ready for publication. This may seem like a daunting task, but it is an essential step in the writing process, and one that will help you produce a better, more engaging, and more successful book. In conclusion, editing and revising are critical steps in the process of writing a successful non-fiction book. They provide you with the opportunity to refine your writing, make your book more accessible and engaging, and ensure that your book is polished and professional. So take the time to review your writing, consider your readers, and make any necessary changes to your book, and you will be well on your way to writing a successful and engaging non-fiction book. Polishing your writing with the right word choice. As a non-fiction writer, it's important to pay attention to the words you use. The right word choice can make all the difference in effectively communicating your message and engaging your reader. Here are a few tips to help you choose the right words for your non-fiction book. Use active voice. Active voice adds energy and liveliness to your writing. In active voice sentences, the subject performs the action. For example, the teacher wrote the book is in active voice, while the book was written by the teacher is in passive voice. Use active voice whenever possible to give your writing more impact. Be specific, avoid general vague words and use specific descriptive language instead. For example, instead of saying he is a tall man, say he stands at 6 feet 4 inches. Specific language paints a clearer picture for your reader and makes your writing more interesting. Use sensory words. Sensory words help your reader experience what you're writing about. Use words that describe sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. For example, instead of saying the food tasted good, say the juicy steak melted in my mouth. This type of description draws the reader into your writing and makes it more memorable. Avoid jargon. Jargon is technical language that is only understood by those in a particular field. While it may be useful for your specific audience, it can be confusing for others. Use plain language whenever possible and define any technical terms you do use. Vary your vocabulary. Using the same words repeatedly can make your writing boring and monotonous. Use a thesaurus to find synonyms for frequently used words, and strive to use a variety of words to keep your writing interesting. Read your writing aloud. Reading your writing aloud can help you catch awkward phrasing or words that don't sound quite right. This is a great way to see if your writing flows well, and if the words you've chosen are effective in conveying your message. In conclusion, taking the time to choose the right words for your non-fiction book can make a big difference in how your work is received. Remember to use active voice, be specific, use sensory words, avoid jargon, vary your vocabulary, and read your writing aloud to make sure your writing is polished and effective. Creating a unique and memorable style in non-fiction writing. When it comes to writing a non-fiction book, having a unique and memorable style can make all the difference. A distinctive style can help set your work apart and engage readers in a way that facts and data alone cannot. Here are a few tips to help you develop a style that is all your own. Know your voice. The first step to creating a unique style is to know your own voice. Think about your own writing and what makes it different from others. What are your strengths and weaknesses? What kind of tone and pace do you prefer? This self-awareness will help you establish a style that is authentic to you. Read widely. A great way to find your voice is to read widely and critically. This can help you identify what you like and don't like about different styles, and help you develop your own unique perspective. Experiment. Don't be afraid to experiment and try new things. Write in different voices or try different writing techniques. This experimentation can help you find the style that works best for you. Be yourself. The most important thing is to be yourself. Don't try to emulate someone else's style, as this will come across as forced and inauthentic. Instead, let your own voice shine through and write in a way that feels natural to you. Develop your signature. Once you have found your voice, it's time to develop your signature. This can be a specific way of phrasing things, a particular tone, or a specific way of approaching a subject. Whatever it is, it should be something that sets your writing apart and makes it instantly recognizable. Revise and refine. Finally, be sure to revise and refine your style. This will help you maintain consistency and improve your writing over time. Read your writing critically and ask for feedback from others. Having a unique and memorable style in your non-fiction writing can help you captivate and engage your readers. So take the time to find your voice, experiment, and develop your signature. With these tips, you'll be well on your way to creating a style that is all your own. The art of writing effective headlines and subheadings. In non-fiction writing, headlines and subheadings serve a dual purpose. They help to break up long sections of text and make the material easier to read, and they also help to summarize and highlight key points. Effective headlines and subheadings can be the difference between a reader quickly losing interest or becoming captivated by your writing. In this chapter, we will explore the importance of writing effective headlines and subheadings and offer tips on how to achieve this. Headlines and subheadings should be clear and concise, accurately reflecting the content of the section they are heading. They should also be written in a style that is consistent with the tone and voice of your book. The headline should grab the reader's attention and make them want to read on, while subheadings should provide additional context and help the reader to follow your argument. To write effective headlines, focus on using action words and making the headline as concise as possible. Avoid using passive voice and long, convoluted sentences. Instead, opt for short, simple statements that clearly convey the purpose of the section. For example, instead of understanding the concept of non-fiction writing, use mastering non-fiction writing. Subheadings should be written in a similar style, but they should also provide additional context and help the reader to understand the content of the section. They should be written in a way that complements the headline, providing further detail and helping to break up the text into manageable chunks. It is also important to ensure that your headlines and subheadings are well structured, with a clear hierarchy and a consistent style throughout the book. This makes it easier for the reader to follow your argument and helps to maintain the flow of the book. A good way to structure your headlines and subheadings is to use a consistent font, size, and format throughout. In conclusion, effective headlines and subheadings are crucial in non-fiction writing. They help to make the material easier to read and summarize the key points, while also adding to the overall style and tone of the book. By focusing on writing clear, concise, and well-structured headlines and subheadings, you can engage your reader and keep them interested in your writing from start to finish. Building your writing platform. As a non-fiction writer, it's essential to have a strong platform that can help you promote your book, build your audience, and increase your chances of success. A writing platform is a combination of the following elements: your author website, social media presence, email list, speaking engagements, and media appearances. In this chapter, we'll explore the importance of building a writing platform and provide you with tips for creating a successful one. Why a writing platform matters. Having a writing platform allows you to reach your target audience, promote your book, and build your brand as an author. Without a platform, your book may be lost in the crowded marketplace, making it more difficult to get noticed. With a platform, you can create a community of readers who are interested in your work, and you can promote your book directly to them. Your author website is the cornerstone of your writing platform. It should provide information about your book, your author bio, and a way for readers to contact you. Social media is another important aspect of your platform. By using platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, you can connect with your audience and promote your book. An email list is another crucial element of your writing platform. An email list allows you to reach your readers directly and build a relationship with them. You can use your email list to promote your book, announce new projects, and keep your readers informed about your writing journey. Speaking engagements and media appearances are also important elements of your writing platform. By speaking at conferences, bookstores, and other events, you can connect with your audience and promote your book. Media appearances, such as radio interviews and TV appearances, can also help you reach a wider audience and increase your visibility. Building a writing platform. Building a writing platform takes time, effort, and patience. Here are some tips to help you get started. Start with your author website. Invest in a professional-looking website that showcases your book, author bio, and contact information. Make sure your website is mobile-friendly and easy to navigate. Use social media to your advantage. Create accounts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and start posting about your book, your writing journey, and other topics that interest your audience. Use hashtags to reach a wider audience, and engage with your followers by responding to their comments and messages. Build your email list. Offer a free ebook or other incentive to encourage readers to sign up for your email list. Once you have their email address, you can use it to promote your book and build a relationship with your readers. Get involved in speaking engagements and media appearances. Reach out to bookstores, conferences, and other events and offer to speak about your book. If you're not comfortable speaking in public, consider reaching out to local radio stations or TV programs to request an interview. Be consistent and persistent. Building a writing platform takes time, so be patient and stay consistent in your efforts. Post regularly on social media, send regular emails to your list, and speak at events whenever possible. In conclusion, building a writing platform is essential for any non-fiction writer who wants to promote their book, build their audience, and increase their chances of success. By following the tips outlined in this chapter, you can create a platform that will help you achieve your goals and reach your target audience. Maximizing your book's reach through marketing and promotion. Marketing and promotion are crucial components of a successful non-fiction book. Even the best written book will not reach its intended audience if it is not marketed effectively. As a writer, you want to be sure that your book reaches the people who are most likely to benefit from it, and marketing is the key to achieving that goal. There are many different ways to market a non-fiction book, including traditional methods such as book signings, interviews, and book reviews, as well as more modern methods such as social media, email marketing, and online advertising. The key is to find the methods that work best for your book and your audience. One effective method for marketing your book is to build a platform. This can include your website, blog, social media accounts, and email list. These platforms can help you connect with potential readers, build relationships with them, and promote your book. Another effective method is to make use of online advertising, such as Google AdWords and Facebook ads. These platforms allow you to target specific audiences with your ads, ensuring that your book reaches the right people. You can also use these platforms to track the success of your advertising campaign, so you can make adjustments as needed. Book signings and events are also great ways to promote your book and connect with your audience. These events allow you to meet potential readers in person, answer their questions, and sign copies of your book. You can also use these events as an opportunity to network with other writers, publishers, and literary agents. Finally, don't underestimate the power of word-of-mouth marketing. Encourage your friends, family, and followers to share your book with others. Offer incentives such as signed copies or exclusive content for those who help spread the word about your book. In conclusion, marketing and promotion are essential components of a successful non-fiction book. By building a platform using online advertising, participating in book signings and events, and leveraging word-of-mouth marketing, you can reach your intended audience and ensure that your book has the impact it deserves. The business of non-fiction writing, navigating the publishing world. The publishing world can be a confusing and overwhelming place, especially for first-time non-fiction writers. However, understanding the business side of writing is crucial for maximizing your book's reach and success. In this chapter, we'll explore the different publishing options available to you, including traditional publishing, self-publishing, and hybrid publishing. Traditional publishing involves submitting your manuscript to a publishing house, who will then decide whether to publish it or not. This route can take a long time and often requires a literary agent to help you navigate the submission process. However, if your book is accepted, traditional publishers will handle everything from editing to marketing, allowing you to focus on writing. Self-publishing involves taking care of all aspects of publishing your book yourself, from editing to marketing. This route gives you complete control over the process and allows you to release your book faster than with traditional publishing. However, it can also be more time-consuming and requires you to have a solid understanding of the publishing process. Hybrid publishing lies somewhere between traditional and self-publishing. With hybrid publishing, you pay a company to handle many of the aspects of publishing your book, such as editing, design, and distribution. This route can be a good option if you want to retain control over your book, but still want some help with the publishing process. Regardless of which route you choose, it's important to have a solid understanding of the publishing process, including distribution channels, book marketing strategies, and royalty structures. This will help you make informed decisions and ensure that your book reaches the widest possible audience. Finally, it's worth noting that the publishing world is constantly evolving, with new technologies and platforms emerging all the time. Stay informed and be open to new opportunities, as this can help you reach new audiences and expand your writing platform. With the right approach, the business of non-fiction writing can be both fulfilling and financially rewarding. The ethics of non-fiction writing, balancing fact and interpretation. The ethics of non-fiction writing are a critical component to consider as a writer. Non-fiction writing is meant to provide an accurate representation of events, facts, and data. However, it is impossible to present information completely objectively. There is always a level of interpretation involved, which makes it crucial for writers to understand the line between fact and fiction in their work. The first step in maintaining ethical non-fiction writing is to understand the difference between primary and secondary sources. Primary sources are the original sources of information, such as eyewitness accounts, government documents, and scientific studies. Secondary sources are those that interpret or analyze primary sources, such as news articles, biographies, and history books. When conducting research for your book, it's essential to consider the reliability and credibility of your sources. Always verify the accuracy of information from multiple sources, and make sure to acknowledge the sources you use in your book. Incorporating opinions and personal beliefs into your non-fiction writing is also a significant ethical consideration. While it's important to present different perspectives, it's equally crucial to avoid misleading or presenting false information. It's also important to distinguish between opinions and facts, and to avoid presenting opinions as facts. Another ethical consideration is avoiding plagiarism. Plagiarism is the act of using someone else's work without giving proper credit. This can include text, ideas, and even images. Always make sure to give credit to the sources you use in your writing, and to obtain permission before using any copyrighted material. Finally, it's essential to consider the impact of your non-fiction writing on the people and communities you are writing about. Be respectful and sensitive to the subjects of your book, and avoid presenting information that could cause harm. In conclusion, the ethics of non-fiction writing are a crucial aspect of the craft. By maintaining a high standard of accuracy and reliability, avoiding plagiarism, and being respectful of your subjects, you can ensure that your writing is both credible and impactful. As a non-fiction writer, it's important to understand the balance between fact and interpretation, and to always strive for ethical and responsible writing practices. Staying inspired and motivated as a non-fiction writer. Staying inspired and motivated as a non-fiction writer is crucial to your success. Writing can be a long and challenging process, and it's important to maintain your passion for writing and your drive to keep pushing forward. Here are a few tips to help you stay inspired and motivated as you write your non-fiction book. Set goals. Establishing clear and achievable goals is a great way to stay focused and motivated. Break your book into smaller, manageable tasks and set deadlines for each. Celebrate your progress along the way, and give yourself a pat on the back for each task you complete. Read other non-fiction books. Reading other non-fiction books in your genre or related fields can help you stay inspired and informed. This will also give you new ideas, perspectives, and insights that you can apply to your own writing. Network with other writers. Building a supportive community of fellow non-fiction writers can help you stay motivated and inspired. Participate in writing groups, attend conferences and events, or join an online writing community to connect with other writers who share your passion. Take breaks. Writing can be mentally and emotionally exhausting, so it's important to take breaks when needed. Spend time with friends and family, exercise, meditate, or engage in a hobby. This will help you recharge and return to your writing with fresh energy. Stay organized. Keeping your research, notes, and writing organized will help you stay focused and motivated. Use a filing system, create outlines, and keep track of your progress to help you stay on track and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Stay curious. A love for learning and a sense of curiosity are essential ingredients for writing non-fiction. Stay informed by reading news, attending lectures, or taking courses. This will help you find new and exciting topics to write about and maintain your passion for writing. Celebrate your successes. Celebrating your successes along the way will help you stay motivated and inspired. Share your accomplishments with others and take time to reflect on how far you have come and what you have achieved. By following these tips, you can stay inspired, motivated, and on track as you write your non-fiction book. Writing can be a long and challenging process, but with dedication, focus, and passion, you can turn your writing dream into a reality. About the author. Bill Vincent is no stranger to understanding the power of God. Not only has he spent over 20 years as a minister with a strong prophetic anointing, he is now also an apostle and author with Revival Waves of Glory Ministries in Lichfield, Eel. Along with his wife Tabitha, he leads a team providing apostolic oversight in all aspects of ministry, including service, personal ministry, and godly character. Bill offers a wide range of writings and teachings, from deliverance to experiencing presence of God and developing apostolic cutting-edge church structure. Drawing on the power of the Holy Spirit through years of experience in revival, spiritual sensitivity, and deliverance ministry, Bill now focuses mainly on pursuing the presence of God and breaking the power of the devil off of people's lives. His books 50 and Counting has since helped many people to overcome the spirits and curses of Satan. For more information or to keep up with Bill's latest releases, please visit www.revivalwavesofgloryministries.com. To contact Bill, feel free to follow him on Twitter at Revival Waves. Read more at Bill Vincent's site. About the publisher. Accepting manuscripts in the most categories. We love to help people get their words available to the world. Revival Waves of Glory focus is to provide more options to be published. We do traditional paperbacks, hardcovers, audiobooks, and ebooks all over the world. A traditional royalty-based publisher that offers self-publishing options, Revival Waves provides a very author-friendly and transparent publishing process, with President Bill Vincent involved in the full process of your book. Send us your manuscript and we will contact you as soon as possible. Contact Bill Vincent at RWG Publishing at yahoo.com.